Thursday, July the 17th, 2025, and I'm back out in the Chilterns, Saunderton, Buckinghamshire. I was here last April, so just a couple of months back. Today I'm doing book 2, walk 3, a walk I last did 15 years ago, but today I'm doing a different variation, which will be new terrain. Hoping to get out to Wheeler's End, the variant via Wheeler's End, but let's see how I get on because I'm not quite sure of the distance. I think it's about 10 miles, but once I get to West Wycombe for lunch, hopefully, I'll know more at that point. Bit of a grey day today, however it's not so windy, which has been a problem over the last couple of weeks, and it's not so hot. It is quite humid, mind, with a westerly breeze today, low 20s at the moment, but as I say, not too hot and not too windy, so there may be a sprinkling of rain this afternoon or in the early part of this walk per the reliable Met. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen though, and they're as reliable as ever. It's about 11:45 now, about 5 hours for this walk, so let's get cracking and see what awaits. Saturday Walkers Club walk this is again, SWC book 2 walk 3 variant. Back in April I turned left away from the station. Today we're turning right. Okay, 5 minutes of quiet lane walking and it's just started spitting, so hopefully that's all it does. Classic July scene at the moment with the corn waiting to be cut. They've already started in many places, of course. Following the ascent to Noble's farm, and luckily, as you can see, it's quite sheltered in here at the minute because the showers are quite heavy. Yeah, this shower doesn't seem to be easing off anytime soon, so I guess it's going to have to be an early lunch. About 12:20 now, so I won't be having lunch at West Wycombe, it'll be here. See if its shower disappears in the interim. Unusual for the Met to be right, but they are today. On the button, 12 till 1 they said there'd be a shower. So I got it wrong. Fingers crossed. So let's see what I can acquire in terms of a seat. Probably this pile of mud. Well, blow me, as soon as I sat down, rain stopped. So it's onwards and upwards, back to plan A. Fingers crossed anyway. Sun's out now. See if we can get to West Wycombe without any more showers. All nuts wood per the map on my left. Mainly beech, as you'd expect in this area. Some new growth on the left, which is more exotic. Cherries and apples I've noticed in amongst the sycamore. Or possibly maples. Some kind of creature there's got stuck in the fence and died. Looks like a dog to me. Don't think it's a fox. Snout is the wrong shape. View across the valley there with a buzzard flying across. You can hear it mewing. green woodpecker in the background as well. Not laughing at the minute though. Passing the Brick and Flint Nobles farm. Lovely smell of petrichor here, coming from these ferns, and of course the path. Good paths today obviously. This little shower is not going to make any odds to the dryness, and of course a few drought orders in place now since I was last out. Not here yet though. Lovely. The old song thrush. I do believe. Waiting for its repetition of notes. Crystal clear sound. So I think he should be dry now. That's why he's singing. Wonderful. There you go, the old repetition. Footpath on my right will be the way I return from Wheeler's End later, should I decide to do that option. And then of course I'll have a bit of repetition walking back the way I've just come to the station. The left turn doesn't come into the equation at this point, so as I say, continue straight ahead for West Wycombe. So you get some idea here of what these paths can be like in the winter months. Don't need me to tell you that. But it's glorious today, thus far. Underfoot, that is. Quite amazing. Blackberries. Early July, mid-July. Things are definitely speeding up, aren't they? But at what cost? We're already hearing from the farmers about the early harvest causing them problems, and potentially us with higher costs later in the year. Although I don't quite understand that. I mean, if they're getting their stuff in early and it's stored away, how's that going to affect the price? Bit of a clearing on my right now as we come into the environs of West Wycombe. Mausoleum over there, hence all the cars. And still raining over there on my right. That's bad news. Let's hope it stays away from me. Well, that shower's now reached me, unfortunately. So, not sensible to continue. It's now 1 o'clock. So I'm under some yew trees here, and I've just constructed this little seat, and that'll do for lunch. Wasn't what I was planning. I was planning the church, which isn't far off, but I might as well make use of the natural surroundings here and hope that the drizzle eases off again. So 1:45, lunch has been had, and as hoped, the showers have passed over. So let's hope that's the end of them. The old song thrushes are singing well, so fingers crossed. So here is the church stroke mausoleum. Only a couple of minutes from where I was, but not to worry. This is the old Mausoleum, and beneath me is apparently the caves of the Hellfire Club. If you want to look into that on Google or whatever your search engine is. And by all accounts there used to be meetings up in that bauble there, 6 people or so, secret meetings to do with the Hellfire Club. All to do with the Dashwood family, if you want to investigate that as well. And this is St Lawrence's Church, West Wycombe. Well, there is actually a pew with a view here at the Mausoleum, or in front of it. And a decent vista it is. If you like looking over, is that West Wycombe or High Wycombe? Busy road ahead there anyway. Cut right through the woodland. Interesting. There you go, Dashwood. The most recent one dying only in 2000, the 11th Baronet. And that must be their ashes above them. Amazing. There's the old house that I remember filming many years ago. Not sure which walk, mind you. Approaching West Wycombe. Leaving the Mausoleum behind us. R.I.P. These are the caves, or the entrance to it, the Hellfire Club. Get rid of that weed really, so we can read the full inscription. Something to do with Magna Carta. A local school, West Wycombe. Now headed for that High Wood, it's called, on the map, just as well as it's starting to spit again. So now entering the West Wycombe estate, taking this right turn towards Toweridge Farmhouse. I've been hearing these shots in the background for several hours now, albeit I'm only 3 mile in, just over 3 mile into the walk now. Passing the eagles, presumably. Toweridge Farm. Straight ahead, under the pylons we go. Decent vista on the right, including another folly in the distance. Not sure where that is or what it is, but I have filmed it in the past, pretty sure. Yeah, it might not even be a folly. I think it is, under scaffold wrap. Well, I've never heard anything like this before. Very frequent. Can't be the automated gas cylinders. Sounds like a war zone. Obviously deterrents for some reason. Hopefully not humans. Strangely enough, that's all going on in Hell Bottom's Wood. Heard of that? Hell's Bottom. I'm just about to continue in Great Wood ahead. And there's not a reason given, but there's a temporary closure there until this week, funny enough. So finally come out of Great Wood. Very pleasant walking that was, with the smell of petrichor all around me. Not much in the way of bird song because of those guns or whatever they are. Obviously something going on down there that's been organised for this week. Now take this byway to my left, or bridleway, going past Denham Wood on the map. Juncture, stick with the bridleway, slight left, don't go straight ahead on the footpath. Now a short section through open country to Wheeler End, and it's brightening up thankfully. Hopefully that'll be the end of the showers. It's been quite a damp day for me, unusually. Not often I get it wrong. There you go. Yeah, it's definitely an organised shooting event over there. Pheasants maybe, but too many shots for pheasants. Certainly organised. And you can hear the busy M40 over on my right now. Not too bad, but audible. Passing through Wheeler's farm. Passing the Checkers, Wheeler's End, the recommended lunchtime stop on this version of the walk anyway. And you can hear the M40, which goes under the village road over there. Shame for that particular pub, but it doesn't seem to do them much harm. Car park's pretty full. And look at this, sloes are out, incredible. Early July, mid-July again. That's about 6 weeks ahead of schedule, I guess. Unbelievable. Interesting little play area here. Very natural. Now walking across Wheeler End Common. Decent vista on my left as I walk down Piddington Lane. per the map. As you can see, pretty decent afternoon now. Decent vista over the hamlet of Piddington. Now through a pleasant little wooded section again. Holly and beech mainly. Walking up alongside Great Cockshoots Wood per the map. And there's a monkjack calling in the distance. Barking deer. Some mysterious signage here, if anyone knows what it is. And here's another autumn signature, acorns. I mentioned the horse chestnuts a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely madness. Can still hear those guns. Walking past Chawley Wood, Chawley, on my left here. Just starting to hear the jets coming in at Luton now.
Total distance 7 miles.
We haven't seen that many kites today, probably because of all the banging. But there is one in classic pose. Obviously a bit shaky because he's at a distance. As you can now see. So now headed for that wood ahead, Hernton Wood per the map, and that's the wood I was in earlier where I said don't turn right, we go straight on. So I'll make a judgment call up there. I think going back the way I came is on the cards because it's about that distance and timing now. Very good little farmer here. This is how the footpath should be through arable fields. Cereal. And there's the Mausoleum once again on my right. So that's West Wycombe. Well, this path is very overgrown, and of course I used it, being the good walker I am, but I could have come up the side. I thought this blackthorn went all the way up to the fence, obviously not knowing the route, but it doesn't. There's a gap here and people use it by the looks of it, thus the footpath gets overgrown. We're now at Butler's Hangings s.s.s.i. Amazing cluster of red berries here turning black. Yeah, well done, Norman. With a yellowhammer singing in the background. Wonderful. 539 foot per my altimeter at this point, and a bit more to go yet. I think the high point from memory was about 602. Looking back whence I've come here. Wonderful. And here you see some of the fields have been cut. Interesting why they've done some and not the others. There's that yellow hammer somewhere, I can't see it. Wonderful. Good to know, winter time. And there's one of those symbols again, so it's got something to do with wildlife, obviously. Little wren there. So you can see how dry it is. Woodland pond here not so long ago, completely dried up. 582 foot here, and this is the point we were at earlier where I said don't go left here, but go straight on, which we did. And this is the point where I said earlier we'd come out if I went down and followed the route as planned, which I have done. So now I've done that, around about 8 mile in, I've got no option now but to go back the way I came, which is just over a mile I believe. So I haven't done the variant quite in the same way as was written in the on the website. I think they went out via Knapp Hill Common, but I chose to do it this way, which means some repetition at the end here. But not to worry, because this is the section that was a bit damp earlier with drizzle. And below me that song thrush was still there. There he goes. Just flew as I opened up the camera. That one I filmed earlier, same bird I bet. They have their favourite haunts. Bit of information here about those trees I filmed earlier. Old and new farm trees. Obviously it's a big furniture making area around here, High Wycombe. And there you got hazelnuts. Incredible, eh? Mid-July. It wasn't that long ago that this field wouldn't have been suitable for cereal. But these days, the combines with caterpillar tracks can deal with these hills. And I saw one in action over my way the other day. Good to see, because we need as much homegrown produce as we can get. The way the world's going at the moment. Wonderful skylark over there somewhere. Beautiful. Vaughan Williams, eh? So here we are, 4 hours 5 minutes later, 9.64 miles. Very decent walk that. Shame about the couple of showers, but they were always on the cards. It's just I don't normally believe the Met will get it right, and today they did. Didn't interfere with play too much though. Quality walk that, nice and peaceful. Didn't encounter any other walkers, and paths were good. Different ball game in the winter though. So that's book 2 walk 3 variant completed, and I actually like that variant via Wheeler End. Quite a decent evening now as well. So until the next time, take care.